The Blue Ridge Parkway curved and dipped through the mountains, every bend revealing another sweep of red and gold. The leaves burned with autumn fire, glowing in the late afternoon sun as the car hummed along the two-lane road. Tyler grinned behind the wheel, drumming the steering wheel with a rhythm that matched his mood. "Man, this is unreal," he said, eyes flickering between the road and the landscape. "Look at those colors. It's like a Bob Ross fever dream." "Keep your eyes on the road, Picasso," Maya replied from the passenger seat, raising her phone to snap another photo out the window. "I'd actually like to make it to the mountain alive." In the back seat, Jasmine didn't bother to look up from her phone. Her thumb scrolled lazily over the screen as she muttered, "Can't believe I let you talk me into this. I had a spa weekend lined up, mud masks, mimosas, not mudslides and mountain lions." "There are no mountain lions here," Chris said quietly. His voice came from the far corner of the back seat, low and steady. "Not anymore." Tyler caught his eyes in the rearview mirror, his grin widening. "See? Chris gets it. Nature's chill. We're gonna hike, camp, unplug, reset our brains." "My brain doesn't need a reset," Jasmine said dryly. "It needs Wi-Fi and a heated blanket." Maya laughed and leaned across the console toward her friend. "Come on, Jazz. You said you wanted something different." "I meant a different cocktail," Jasmine shot back, "not a different altitude." Tyler ignored the jab, his energy undimmed. Okay, but seriously, this place is legendary. Brown Mountain's got stories, ghost lights, cryptids. It's like Scooby-Doo meets National Geographic. "Cryptids are real," Chris said suddenly. The words hung in the air, so unexpected that Tyler raised his brows in mock shock. "Oh snap, Chris speaks. What kind of cryptids we talking? Bigfoot, Mothman, lizard people?" Chris didn't flinch. "Wampus Beast." Jasmine snorted, finally glancing up. "Wampus? That sounds like a rejected Pokemon." But Chris didn't smile. His gaze stayed fixed on the trees that rose like dark walls on either side of the road. "She's real. Cherokee legend, a woman cursed for spying on sacred rituals. Turned into something else, something that hunts." Maya lowered her phone, suddenly attentive. "What does she look like?" Chris's eyes flickered, just briefly before he answered. "6 legs, cat-like, human eyes. She glows in the dark, and she mimics voices. Lures people away." Tyler let out a low whistle. "Okay, now we're talking. That's our campfire story right there." "Great," Jasmine said flatly. "So when I hear you calling my name from the woods, I'll just assume it's a demon cat woman." Chris turned his head slowly, his voice dropping even lower. "If you hear your name," he said, "don't answer." The car fell silent. Wind funneled through the open windows, rustling hair and clothes. The mountains loomed larger ahead, their ridges shadowed in the fading light. Tyler coughed once, then chuckled to break the tension. "All right, spooky boy, let's make a deal. If we see the Wampus, I'll wrestle her. Mia can film it. Jasmine can live stream it. And you?" "I'll be gone before you hit record," Chris said, and this time there was the faintest trace of a smile on his lips. The gravel road crunched beneath the tires as the car climbed higher into the mountains. Dust rose behind them, trailing off into the trees. Tyler glanced down at the GPS balanced on the console. "All right, we're almost there," he said. "Says the overlook is about 10 minutes up the gravel road." Jasmine leaned her forehead against the window, watching the forest close in on either side. "Why does every horror movie start with a gravel road?" Mia laughed, still clutching her camera. "Because paved roads don't lead to cursed forests." From the back seat, Chris adjusted his glasses and popped another handful of trail mix into his mouth. "Technically, cursed forests are more accessible than ever, thanks to Google Maps and poor life choices." Tyler smirked. "Chris, you're like if Wikipedia had anxiety." "Incorrect," Chris replied without missing a beat. "I'm like if Wikipedia and Reddit had a baby that was raised by cryptid YouTubers." Jasmine groaned. "Oh no, here we go. What's today's creature feature?" Chris's grin widened. "Glad you asked. Tonight's special, the Wampus Beast. Half woman, half cat, all nightmare fuel." Mia tilted her head, curious. "Wait, is that real?" "Real enough to have its own folklore, sightings, and fan club," Chris said. "I may or may not be the president." Tyler shot him a look in the mirror. Is this the one with the 6 legs and glowing eyes? Bingo, Chris said. Cursed Cherokee woman turned feline horror. She mimics voices, stalks campers, and has a thing for people who ask too many questions. Jasmine smirked. Sounds like my ex. Chris didn't miss a beat. Did he also live in the woods and eat hikers? Emotionally, yes, Jasmine replied, deadpan. The road widened, spilling them into a small overlooked parking area. The view stopped them all in their tracks. Ridges stretched out in layers, fading into mists and horizons. The air was crisp, colder than before, strangely quiet. Tyler hopped out of the car and stretched. All right, campers, let's set up before it gets dark. I want first dibs on the tent with the least rocks. Mia was already lifting her camera to her eye. I'm getting some shots before the light's gone. This place is unreal. Unreal and freezing, Jasmine muttered, hugging her arms to her chest. I swear, the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Chris sniffed the air like a hunter. Classic cryptid climate shift. It's all in the forms. Tyler pointed a finger at him. Chris, buddy, if you're gonna start quoting Reddit, I'm making you sleep with the bears. Chris's expression didn't flicker. Joke's on you. Bears don't scare me. It's the raccoons with thumbs you gotta watch. The campsite came together quickly. Tents pitched, firewood gathered, a fire crackling to life as the sun dipped behind the ridgeline. Shadows stretched long across the clearing, weaving into the trees. This is actually kind of perfect, Mia said, settling beside the fire. No phones, no noise, just us. Us and the demon cat lady, Jasmine added, pouring herself a drink. Tyler grinned. Hey, if she shows up, I'll charm her. I've got a way with cursed women. Chris held up a marshmallow on a stick, solemn as a priest offering a blessing. Offer her s'mores. That's how I'd do it. No one can resist toasted sugar. Mia laughed. Do you think she's real? Chris shrugged, eyes glinting in the firelight. Real enough that I bought garlic, sage, and a backup battery for my EMF reader. Jasmine froze mid-sip. You brought ghost gear? I bring ghost gear everywhere, Chris said simply. It's my emotional support kit. The fire popped and hissed, sparks spiraling upward into the cool night air. Tyler stretched, tossing his stick into the flames. All right, he said, we've got fire, food, and a view. All we need now is a ghost story. Jasmine sipped from her flask and shook her head. Or a signal. I swear my phone died the second we hit that gravel road. Good, Mia replied, snapping a picture of the fire. That's the point. No distractions, just us and nature. Chris lifted a marshmallow like a microphone. Nature and the Wampus Beast. Tyler grinned, but stood brushing dirt off his jeans. Speaking of beasts, I'll be right back. Don't let Chris summon any cryptids while I'm gone. Bathroom break? Jasmine teased. Better the woods than your tent, Tyler shot back, disappearing into the shadows. The group lingered by the fire. Chris began humming a mock spooky tune. Jasmine rolled her eyes. Mia fiddled with her camera settings. Then, something flew out of the trees. It hit the ground hard, skidding to a stop in the dirt. A flashlight. The casing cracked as if clawed. Mia gasped. Oh my God! Jasmine jumped to her feet. Is that his flashlight? Chris' eyes widened as he grabbed his EMF reader. Okay, that's not a deer. Tyler, Mia shouted into the dark. Silence. Then, guys, I'm hurt. Help me. The voice came low, ragged, and far too close. Jasmine whispered, That's him. Chris's tone sharpened. Wait, don't move. Don't answer. That's exactly how she... Before he could finish, Tyler burst out of the trees, doubled over in laughter. Gotcha! Mia's face flushed with fury. Are you kidding me? Jasmine hurled a marshmallow at his chest. You absolute jerk! Chris let out a shaky breath, still gripping his reader. Dude, I was about to go full Ghostbusters on the forest. Tyler wiped tears from his eyes, still laughing. Come on! You guys were so freaked out, I couldn't resist. You threw your flashlight? Mia demanded. Old one, Tyler shrugged. Cracked it last week. Figure it'd add drama. Chris shook his head. Congratulations. You've officially summoned bad karma. Jasmine crossed her arms, her voice unsteady. Seriously, don't do that again. That voice was creepy. Tyler blinked at her. What voice? The group froze. You said, I'm hurt. Help me, Mia whispered. Tyler frowned. No, I didn't. I just tossed the flashlight and waited. Chris's tone was low now, uneasy. Okay, that's not funny. The fire crackled. The forest pressed in around them, silent and heavy. Tyler forced a grin, holding up his hands. All right. No more pranks. Scout's honor. You were never a scout, Chris muttered. Exactly. That's how serious I am. They sat back down, but the laughter was gone. Shadows crept closer to the firelight. The woods felt aware, as if something watched from the dark. Jasmine broke the silence, her voice soft. Okay, but if we hear that voice again, we leave. Chris nodded. Agreed. Rule number 4, when the prank becomes prophecy, it's time to pack up. He cleared his throat, sipping into his storyteller tone. Legend says she was once a Cherokee woman, cursed for spying on sacred rituals, transformed into a creature with 6 legs, glowing eyes, and a vendetta against noisy campers. Sounds like she and I would get along, Jasmine muttered. She mimics voices, Chris continued. Lures people into the woods, and if you hear your name... Let me guess, Tyler cut in. Don't answer. Chris nodded gravely. Exactly. That's how she gets you. Curiosity is her bait. Mia gave a nervous laugh. Okay, but how do we know it's not just a bear with a really good impression of Tyler? Because bears don't throw flashlights, Chris said flatly, or whisper your secrets. Jasmine groaned. Great, so if I hear, Jasmine, your skincare routine is trash, I'll know it's her. Or me, Chris teased. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. They laughed again, but it was thin, brittle. The sound barely pushed back the quiet. The forest had gone unnaturally still. No wind, no insects, no distant owls, only the fire. Tyler rubbed his arms, his grin fading. All right, maybe we call it. Big hike tomorrow. Fine by me, Jasmine muttered, already unrolling her sleeping bag. Mia hesitated, glancing at the black tree line one last time. Yeah, let's get some sleep. Chris let his marshmallow burn to ash before dropping it into the flames. His voice was soft, almost swallowed by silence. Just remember, he said, if you hear your name, don't answer. So that concludes the first part of our story. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you here next time on the Spooky Pumpkin Patch.